You are the chosen one.
And we're back. Now that we've gone to the quarry, we have the ruins to go to. The Ilburns Ruins, which are a much harder dungeon by far. The Tigray Quarry you can just sort of smash things and find your way through. And while you still can do that at the Ilburns Ruins to a point, it does require a little bit more strategy. And we get to make use of the fire a little bit more. Also, we get to see some new exciting enemy types. And here is the Ilburns Ruins. We can ignore this save point. We can walk up to here, use the ruins key, use key. And the door opens. Not really exciting, but the Ilburns Ruins. This is an awesome song. And we just have a new enemy type. This enemy type is a Fazzle. A type of owl that is commonly seen outside the ruins. Due to the evil influence overtaking them from the recent disaster, they are now active in the daytime. They swoop to the attack with their razor-sharp talons. Sounds pretty dangerous, right? You'll also notice that they give the same exact amount of EXP as the Mosaic. Not really all that important, because as a non-grinder but a fight whatever comes, I won't be avoiding battle, but I won't be seeking it out any more than the game wants to throw it at me. Also, this is the point in the game where you start to be very thankful for the abundance of healing herbs, which they're about to yank out from underneath you. And that guy, which we'll see more of, so don't worry if you didn't get too good of a look, was a Sigled, part of a Wolfman tribe, very skilled with a whip. Being intelligent, they will always try to maneuver into an advantageous position. Though their faces are similar to that of Guff's, they strongly deny any connection. Guff's, of course, being our lovely little friends over here. And yeah, that's because they use the same model. So at least they might as well have had fun with it. I don't think that's a skipping kind of a thing. And ooh, we have our first caster. And these little guys, which like to... they fly, and then they like to ram down after you. And then, they fall down, and they will explode. That will hurt you if you're too close to it. And you can't really attack them with fire very well, because they're made of fire. But what are these two new enemy types? Okay. We have the Eager, a monster brought back from the underworld. They are only heads which fly about, but they are completely immune to fire. When defeated, they detonate with concussive force, so be careful after one dies. Good to know. And a Sion, a lesser type of evil sorcerer. They teleport around to confuse foes, then strike with bolts of magical energy. They can only transport themselves a short distance, so the best time to attack them is just as they reappear. Which is very good advice, really. When they appear, you have a little bit of a time period where they're completely motionless, they don't do anything yet, but you can waste them. You also want to be really careful with those little suckers. I've gotten exploded one too many times by them myself. So just keep that in mind. We have more of our lovely little friends, owls, out here. And I know even though we discussed their names, I'll probably very rarely use the name of anything that's non-boss just because, well, their names generally, they're not as bad as like Hagenmer or anything like that, but they're not nearly as memorable as the actual enemies themselves. And there we have another Wolfman. They do like to maneuver around, and if you let them surround you, they can do a lot of damage very fast, and being wolves, well, they're a pack-type animal. But I think that we just missed some treasure, so we're gonna go back to claim it. Yep, right up here. As mentioned before, pack animal. They love just nothing more than to surround you. Had a little bit of a frame skip problem there, but very minimal. You're going to find that larger and larger gold coins appear as you go deeper into the game, which makes sense. Things get more and more expensive, as you saw from Cynthia's shop. More of these guys. Really want to be careful of them more for their explosions than anything else. But they are pretty cool looking. I initially played this game on a netbook, on my long commutes home from work, and I never really got to see their awesome faces all that well before. This is the first time I'm playing the whole thing on a good, nice big monitor, so it's kind of cool. And here is our first real puzzle, well, second real puzzle really, but the first you need to actually progress in the game. Very Legend of Zelda style puzzle. I never missed that one. Although actually I don't think that one's actually a thing you can make use of yet. No, it's not. Without the dash boost, or without the boost, you can't make that jump at this point in the game. As you can see, yep, just kinda fall. As you can also see, I'm not being very careful. I did just get a level up, not a lot of stats, but I still got one, so that's all that matters. These enemy types are very interesting because you can only hit them either from above or behind for any appreciable damage. Even fire isn't particularly useful against them. In fact, it doesn't really work. But your above strike can, which is very important to know and keep in mind when fighting these enemies. The bad thing about that strike, of course, is that you can't really combo it, but you can attack them from behind, but they usually will move out of the way unless they're stunned. So, all very good things to keep in mind. Granted, it's not a bad idea to stun normal enemies either. I just end up comboing them to death instead of even worrying about stunning them. And I don't even really think of it because of the hit counter, it's just generally how I work. Because of the stun lock you can hit enemies into, it just feels natural. And this area is one where it can be very easy to miss things, because at first it's not obvious if you're going the right way or not. And if you go the right way, well, we're not going to be back here for a little bit. I don't want to miss anything, especially one very useful piece of equipment that's going to help keep us alive. Definitely don't want to miss any of that. Pretty sure this is just a way to a treasure room, though. Plenty of these guys. Come on, why don't you teleport? And then, like, let me kill you. They seem more content with just letting me kill them, though. Yeah, teleporting. As you can see, when they teleport, they're definitely weaker. And ooh! Small shield was obtained! Now I can show off one of the coolest features of this game. Watch. Here's Otto, right? No question. There's Otto Kristen. Now as you can see, looking at my inventory, I'm currently equipped with 2 pieces of the second set, but not one of them. Now watch. Awesome, huh? Every time you have a full set, you change into this. The unfortunate thing is, we're gonna get a sword vaguely soon from the next set, and we'll lose this sprite. But that's fine. We'll be okay. The really important thing, though, is just the fact that you actually do look different depending on what you're wearing in a way that's... It's not Link to the Past. It's sort of Diablo 1-ish, where you only change, you know, after quite a bit, but it's still cool. And it's definitely a little detail that I appreciate. Explode. I think this way's the other wrong way. But I could be wrong. This place isn't hard, don't get me wrong. It's more just that I don't want to waste your time going the wrong way. And all the other enemy types we're going to look at when we get a little bit further in. But, yeah. There's some more Reval ore, which will be useful since we need to get 50 for the next money boost. And for anyone worrying that I'm wasting the Reval by giving it to him, not at all. We'll get plenty, and you get more and more as the game progresses, with the final dungeon giving it to you in such copious amounts that you never need to worry about Reval again once you get there. You really don't need to worry about Reval for a while before that, but regardless, it's only ever spent for 2 things. Upgrading your equipment, which I don't do till the end of the game anyway, or getting some super strong equipment you can only get at the end of the game anyway. So, no harm for us to get it now. I'd rather give it to Antonio now. Another little cache of Reval. Definitely good. And these enemies very much resemble a boss from Ys 6, this game's predecessor. In a good way, though. And they're not a direct ripoff. The boss acted way different and was way stronger than those little things. So it's not one of those, oh yay, reuse of a boss as a normal enemy kind of thing. Which is something I hate more than almost anything else. Just gotta... when they charge at you, you have to move very slightly to get out of their way. Plus, when they're actually diving after you, you don't need to jump to attack them. Which is generally a good thing. So yep, that was the right way over here. Not a problem though. Ow. Because the right way? Yeah. This analog stick is very good when you're holding it in a direction, but when you let go, he tends to turn around. Yeah. It's going to be a little bit of a harder one to get. Luckily, you don't have to hit it right on. Or that might be a little bit more of a pain. There's some other items that we don't want to miss here, though. Just because... that jump's not hard, I'm just being a moron. Just because of it. Just to be careful, though, I'm going to turn off analog control for now. Just because I'm going to bet that... Ow! What the hell? Okay, I don't have the ability to run yet in-game, but... it must have... that was just very bizarre. Oh, okay, I can't explain that. It's like my momentum was shifting rapidly. Okay, well it seems to be gone now, so I'm just gonna note that to a glitch from being pushed off of the ledge. Weird. I had similar in Mega Man X in Armored Armadillo's stage, but I think this was just one of those really, really rare flukes. But this way I know for sure is a treasure path. Because whenever you see those, yep, they're gonna rise up. And now I'm trapped in a room full of these guys. Not a problem at all, it looks pretty hectic, but beyond the fact that I was just about to level up, they don't do too terribly much damage. And unlike the sorcerers in the original Ys 3, these guys have dodgeable attacks. I mean, they did too, but oh god, it was jump, attack, jump, attack. It was so... They were... Ilburns Ruins was one of the worst dungeons in that game, as I recall. Just so annoying, so huge, so redundant. This version of it is fun. Without question. So, yeah. But now we get a Katal Elixir. One of the most awesome items in the game, especially to be given for free. What this is water taken from a sacred spring in the Ilburns Mountains. It permanently raises max HP when used. By 5. Or 3 that time. It's not a very huge boost, but the thing is, it doesn't really have to be a huge boost for it to still be good. Every little boost to your HP helps, and considering that I've won very, very stressful fights with only 1 health before, I'm never going to knock a Katal Elixir. And obviously, since we can't afford them until the very end of the game from Cynthia, that's something we're going to be very thankful to just have handed to us, and you definitely don't want to miss it on your first trip here. I'm pretty sure this is the non-way to go. If I'm wrong, it'll become apparent very quickly. Ow. Whoa, that didn't hit me somehow. And when we explode that, it opens up this area. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just treasure. Once again, not just treasure in a negative sense, more just that this is the way we want to go first. Come on. There we go. And what do we get? More Revolve. We already have... Let's see, I don't think this adds in until after that. We're already up to 33 out of 50, so we're making pretty good time on that. Pretty good time indeed. At least I think so. That was what moved. Now we're going to continue on. We're very near the end of this dungeon. What's that you say? This is a pretty short dungeon? Well, I guess it kind of is. But we're not at the very end yet, and... well, it still has a few tricks up its sleeve. I really don't want to spoil anything, but it will be fun to watch.